Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 18 of Touring the Londonverse. I'm your host Scott B Gaming and today we'll be looking at a little promotion known as, and this is the first and only time you'll probably hear me attempt to say this name on this video, Leyendas de Lucha Libre de Liga, or Quadruple L as I'll probably be calling it for the rest of this period. As you can see, I've chosen James' avatar with the default settings, simmed up to the first day of the show, well, started the game because their show is on a Monday for their television tapings. So we'll get right in. Quickly go and have a look at the main hub of the promotion. Now here we have it. We're at national size. We're the 15th largest company, or the 15th ranked company in the starting Londonverse data. I think that's a little bit harsh. I think Quadruple L are actually a little bit higher than that, but the way the ranking system is weighted means that they are 15th. The television show we have is La Experiencia de Lucha de Quadruple L. As I said, it will be the only time I try and pronounce that. We have a few messages here from the personal assistant. I don't think we need to worry about that as it's the day of the show, so we don't really need to reassign anyone some positions. But let's have a look at the roster. And we start with Anastasio, the big tub of fabulous love, 39 years of age, light heavyweight, technico, got the gay gimmick, works for him. Think he's a fantastic worker. Brawling's pretty good. I've taken again the fog of war off so we get to see a bit of a better overview of their abilities. Psychology and consistency and basics are okay. Never going to be a main eventer for this company, I think it's fair to say. He's got the entertainer style of in-ring work, but he is one half of the Parejas Campeón de la Liga. Now that means that he's one half of the tag team champions. So he serves a purpose in the promotion. I do like the guy, but like I said, as a singles worker I don't think he'll ever actually get to the main event status. I think this is his level, and that's not a problem. Move on now to a main eventer by the name of Anon. Now, Anon is 31 years of age, he's lightweight, he's a Rudo, comic book villain, got a momentum and a pretty decent mask prestige at 41%. Now, if we have a look at his abilities on the right hand side, if you see the aerial and flashiness and basics, all in the B's, and he's still got age to or time to improve given his age, he is only 31 after all. So I think the bio even suggests in fact that there's a good chance he's going to be around for a lot longer. Move on now to a mask based on no one in particular, Arachnido Negro. Now, Arachnido Negro, 39 years of age, he's a veteran, he's a main eventer as well, also classed as a Rudo with a very prestigious mask at 74%. I think if you look at his stats, he's also very good. It's unfortunate given his age, because if he was younger, I think I'd see obviously a pretty good future for him, but again, 39 years of age, there's going to be a limit to what I'd be willing to do with him as a character in the company. But for being a main eventer, I'm happy to keep him there until I see a noticeable decrease in his abilities. Move on to one of my least favourite characters in this company, Assassino Abeja. Now, Assassino Abeja from Toluca, Mexico, 27 years of age. He's a lower mid-carder, which is probably too high to be honest. Technico, to be fair to him, his aerial skills are pretty good, as well as his basics not being too bad. But he's certainly not great, and I would be honest with you, there's a lot of really high quality, and I can say that, high quality mask renders that are being put into the game as free agents, and some of them have very decent stats. Those masks were created, as I said in a previous video, by Standard, as you may know him on the Greydogsoftware forums. Top guy, he's done some fantastic work for me. Those are being put into the data at the moment, and as a result, Assassino Abeja is probably one of the people that I'd sacrifice to bring in one of these new people if needs be. But then again, in a company such as EMLL, who we haven't yet covered, he might do okay. But again, it's just someone I'm not gelling with, I'm not vibing with, and I'll just move on from him. And here we have Axel Thrush, 35 years of age, a former AWF Cruiserweight champion, I believe, and he was one of the characters that Quadruple L, in an attempt to kind of break into the American market, as I think I said in AWF's video actually. This is one of the gentlemen that Quadruple L attempted to take to Mexico in an attempt to be able to break into their market successfully. Hasn't worked too well, however Axel Thrush is still with the company. Originally from Boston, mid-carder, Rudo, pitbull gimmick, kind of just a no-nonsense, aggressive dude. His stats are okay, but not spectacular, but his basics and psychology are pretty good. So I'm happy to keep him in the mid-card scene, I don't have a problem with that at all. Move on now to a legendary luchador by the name of Azul. Azul is now a road agent for the company, 59 years of age. His son is in the promotion now, and I think it's fair to say that there are some workers who are of Mexican heritage in this database that have very much got the kind of superhero status, and Azul is probably around about that marking, I think. There's a gentleman who's been entered into the data recently, Angel, who's actually deceased in game terms, but his family do still wrestle. Azul is pretty much near to Angel's level, but not quite there. Now, Angel, again, I'll pat myself on the back a little bit, but Standard does deserve credit for the master design. I kind of gave him an idea of what I wanted, and he created the character for it. And to be honest with you, when I cover another Mexican promotion, if it's not this one, I'm very tempted to show you that render because I really do like it. But anyway, not to take anything away from Azul, he was very good in his own day. Now he's a road agent and he's damn good at it as well. And here's his son, Azul Jr., 35 years of age. He's a main eventer, Technico, classic Technico with a self-owned master, which is again very good prestige-wise. If we look at his stats, he is good. There's nothing that really screams out. His chain wrestling's pretty good though, and brawling's pretty good. He can do actually a bit of everything, and I think that helps him get to the main event stage. Now I don't think he's reached the status that his father did, but he's not too far behind it either. He's one of the go-to guys in this company. Move on now to Cristobal Iztre. Now, Aloy Estevez is a notorious Mexican journalist, former freelance writer, and he basically tried to use his wit to dissect Lucha Libre. Now, what the shit is happening here? Looking at his bio, why is it class him as an active wrestler? That will need to be amended. I think I had him actually as the booker for the company, which is obviously he doesn't now have a position on the roster because of that. But why does it class him as an active wrestler? I can amend that in the data, that's not a problem. Basically, because he kept having a pop at Quadruple L and the storylines they're putting on, he got into discussions with the management, and they kind of asked him what exactly he saw going forward as storylines. So they kind of gave him a test run and said, right, in theory, what would you do? Came up with a few good ideas, and they said they'd give him a trial run. Now, in that trial run, he proved to be quite successful, and that's why he was given the job on a full-time basis. Obviously, he's not an in-ring worker, and he definitely won't be doing that after I amend that in the data, but it's good to spot that. Move on now to Diego Oh Rallo. Young guy, 27 years of age, Japanese junior style, which is quite good. He's an opener. I prefer him greatly to Assassino, who we saw earlier. His stats are pretty damn good already, and I could see him definitely escalating up the card to eventually even maybe upper mid-card status. I think he's got it in him. I think he even trained a little bit in Quadruple L's Lucha Factory, which is their dojo. But a very good guy to have on the roster. Move on now to El Angel Blanco. 28 years of age, he's an upper mid-carder Technico, and I will give him credit. I think he is actually very good if you look at his stats on the right-hand side. His master prestige is at 30% at the moment, and he's also the Mexican champion. There are 4 titles, I believe, in Quadruple L. He holds one of them. If you look at his stats, actually, he's probably going to be around the main event scene before too long. He's a bit of an all-rounder, certainly. Maybe, well, not in terms of brawling and hardcore and puroresu, but everywhere else he's very good. I mean, I think the worst you can say about his other abilities is that he averages, as opposed to exceeding the standard. I think is. I don't know if that made sense. Was that even English? Hello? Is this thing on? But no, he's a very good guy to have around there. I think there's a few older workers in the main event that you'd be looking to eventually replace because they're probably on the doorstep of retirement. And El Angel Blanco will probably be one of the first to be able to step in and have a go at the main event level. Move on now to, again, a master that's not based on anybody. El Tipo is a comedy luchador. He was actually, I think, trained in Gregory Adorn's facility, yes, he was, the House of Adorn. So he's got good fundamentals as well, as you can see in his chain wrestling and mat wrestling. Now he's 29 years of age, lower mid-carder is probably about where I'd see him. Possibly, again, not going beyond the heights of upper mid-carder in this company, but then again, I could be wrong. It very much depends on what he does in-game and also how the others perform in the company as well. Have a look now at El Militante, the purveyor of all that is right. He's a comic book hero, technico, mid-carder. His stats aren't actually that good. His aerial's okay, but a bit of a forgettable character in this company from my perspective. Certainly not bad, but not one of the better workers, that's for sure. Move on now to El Mono. Now, El Mono claims to be the devil's favourite pet, 36 years of age, lightweight, upper mid-card Rudo, 30% mark prestige. I think originally El Mono was my attempt to do my version of a Hell Monkey from the Cornellverse. I went a bit dark with it, and this is what came out, and I thought this would make a very good character for a Mexican promotion in the Londonverse, and here we see him. If we look at his stats, he's pretty good in all areas, and worthwhile keeping around the upper mid-card level, if not main eventer, for a little bit of time. Not one of my favourites in the company. I do like the mask setup, but he isn't one of my favourites. But again, he's by far not one of the worst either. Move on now to El Padrino, speaking of one of my least favourite, with cigar in mouth. Supposed Mexican mob boss, mid-card Rudo, gang leader. In-ring, again, he's okay. There's nothing to really disparage about his abilities, but I don't see much for him going forward, and mid-card's about his glass ceiling, as it were, as far as I'm concerned. Elias Valdez, 27 years of age, cruiserweight, lightweight, opener, and Rudo. Now, he's got the punk gimmick, which is it makes him stand out a little bit in this promotion, which is good. His stats aren't fantastic, though, and again, I don't see him personally progressing beyond mid-card unless he shows me something spectacular in the ring. Aloy Estevez is, let's have a look, what is he? I'm assuming announcer. He is an announcer. Yeah, basically a veteran announcer. Not really much else to say about the gentleman. Enigma. Cruiserweight. I think he was also one of the AWF brought in, and he was. He came from the AWF also with Axel Thrush. I think there's about one or two more that were brought in and they're still with the company. His stats are pretty good. He is at mid-card level, mysterious gimmick. Again, that's probably where I'd see him staying for the foreseeable future, mid-carder. I don't have any long-term plans for the gentleman, but again, with such extravagant characters in this company, there's probably people that would be able to put him in feuds almost immediately and get him to progress. Erasmo Amador. It says he's quite controversial because I think, let me just quickly have a look here. He tries to take the mask off any mask worker that he competes against. That's his gimmick. He's a bit of a dick for doing that, but obviously he doesn't do it as a shoot, as it were. He does it in the context of the match. Now, he's a mid-card Rudo rebel, and I do kind of like the gimmick that goes along with that, about trying to take people's masks off. Now, his abilities are actually pretty good as well. So, someone I could keep around the mid-card level, even maybe push up to upper mid-carder. Now move on to Feroz Dragon. Now Feroz Dragon, ferocious competitor as it says in his bio. He's a lightweight competitor, very good at doing the technical as well as lucha libre style. Classic Rudo, upper mid-carder. I'm very happy at keeping him at that level. Again, potentially a main eventer in the near future when we need to replace some of the older gentlemen who do currently reside in the main event scene. Hielo Ray, probably my favourite character in this company. Main eventer, Rudo. He is a middleweight, 30 years of age, and his aerial and mat wrestling are very, very good, as well as his selling, psychology, and basics. They're all fantastic. And he is the world champion in this company. Yellow Rays, I'm not gonna lie to you, I very much like the mask I came up with for him. Possibly a legend in the future. I think Yellow Ray has the ability to fill that status. Move on now to Hierro Collado. Hierro Collado is just, I don't care for him. He's Japanese, not because he's Japanese. Light heavyweight, Rudo, classic Rudo. His abilities are okay, but I just don't really know what I'd do with him, to be honest with you. Not to say that I couldn't think of something at some point, but just at the moment nothing's coming to mind for him. But there you go, it's a challenge for you out there. Hueso Dragon is a very talented prospect, 21 years of age. He's got a lot of work to do in ring wise, but his aerial and flashiness is already pretty good. Enhancement talent, he's someone that I'd be looking to gradually build up the card. He would be my project, I think, for this company. Get him towards an eventual main event spot. You just obviously have to hope that his statistics and abilities would increase in the way that you'd want them to in order to be able to fulfill that role. Move on now to the owner, I believe, of the company, Hugo Hernandez, a former luchador competitor back in the day. Beyond obviously being the owner of the company, there's not really much I would have for him, being the owner and booker myself now in this video. But there you go. You need an owner for the company. This is the owner for Quadruple L. Hugo Santana. Hugo Santana was okay in his day. He wasn't spectacular, but he's got a decent level of basics in psychology, and that's, you know, given him the job of road agent now that he's retired. Inferno, another one of my favourites in this company. He's 24 years of age, lightweight competitor. He is already at the lower mid-card status. His aerial and flashiness is probably on a par with Hueso Dragon, who we saw moments ago, and he would very much be in a similar position for me. Is someone that I'd want to get eventually to the main event scene. Now, again, he has the ability to be able to develop to that point, but he might need to have his hand held a little bit along the way to get him there. I think Hueso Dragon has more natural ability to get to that stage, but Inferno is someone definitely to keep an eye out for. Isidro Vives is 35 years of age, upper mid-card Rudo. I think... I don't know, again, a little bit of a forgettable character if I'm being honest. His cruiserweight abilities for aerial and flashiness and luchador skills in general are fine. But, again, he's just not someone that's connecting with me personally. But he's a solid hand to have around the upper mid-carder. He would be taking the fall, to be honest, against a lot of the upper-level competition in this company, with getting the occasional win against the people below him. James Avatar, myself. Javier Sis. Now, Javier Sis I actually do like. He's a technical upper mid-carder. Very, very solid in-ring skills, and probably one of the only non-masked workers in this company that I could see being a main eventer. 32 years of age, so you do have time to do it. He's got the fan zone gimmick, and if you see his stats, they are fantastic. I think really that he wants to be able to be almost like a Grand Slam champion and hold all the titles. In fact, it makes mention of as much in his bio. He's formed an alliance with the second generation star Severiano Santana, and which is the son, I believe, of Hugo Santana, who we saw moments ago. And Assis, as I said, he still has the ability to break out as a single star. Move on now to Kid Flash, former cruiserweight of the AWF. This is another one of the gentlemen that I spoke to you about recently. In-ring wise, he's okay. His aerial and flashiness are pretty good. Basics and psychology are okay. Not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but again, not someone that I'm thinking about long term as giving a particular major run. He's got a fantastic look. It's a really bizarre combination of mask design and intricacy that I gave there, but again, not someone that I have immediate plans for in the future. Leon de Oro, 38 years of age, lightweight, main event technico, and he's fantastic. He's really very good at aerial and flashiness, got an A in fact in aerial. He is very much deserving of his main event spot, and he's almost a national hero in Mexico, and potentially could go on to be a legend. I mean, he has all the trademarks to be able to fulfill that criteria. And I have no intention of, even being 38 years of age, I have no intentions of knocking him down the card. To be honest, again, he's another person who I would have to see decrease, like Arachnido Negro, who we saw earlier. I'd have to see them decrease appreciably before I decided to knock them down the card. Leoncio Santos, one of the better non-masked workers in this company. He is a upper mid-carder, obnoxious gimmick. He's managed by Myra Zamorano. He's, again, another masked work or non-masked worker that I could see doing quite well. The only thing holding him back is he is 35 years of age. In my head, as soon as they hit about 33 or 34 and up, I start to think, what is my long-term plans for this person? Now, if they can keep up their performances, it doesn't come into it too much, but again, I always like looking to the future and kind of latching onto the next big thing that you can kind of take and make your own, and then when they're in that position, I'll be looking already at the next person to kind of move along there. And Leoncio Santos, if he was 10 years younger, he would potentially be one of the people in this company that I would do that with. Now, you've seen me talk about Hueso Dragon and Inferno. They're the two in this company that would be those people for me. But Leoncio Santos, being an upper mid-card Rudo, I'm happy to keep him there. I think he could probably be a main eventer if needs be as well. Move on now to Lord Jaguar. He is a mid-card Technico, old school face, pretty cool mask design. I don't have any problems with him, but at the same time I don't really have any ideas of what I'd want to do with him. So keep him in the mid-card for the immediate future, definitely. Not too much to say beyond that. I think he'd kind of compete with the level of mid-carders that we have to a decent level, so I wouldn't be demoting him or letting him go or anything like that. Move on now to the manager, Mayra Zamorano. She's a Rudo, seductress. We saw that she manages Leoncio Santos. I think she also manages another individual. In fact, I've probably already missed it and gone past the gentleman, but I believe she does have more than one client. In fact, let me just have a quick look at the bio. She's the on-screen girlfriend of Leoncio Santos. Okay, maybe it is just Leoncio Santos that she manages, but anyway, there she is. Pablo Alvaro, the Pitbull. Badass gimmick, I think the only one in this company who's got that. Light heavyweight, 36 years of age. He's there for brawling, basically. Very much unable to put on luchador style matches, but could probably punch a few people out of the air if needs be. Lower mid-carder, yeah, I don't really see him getting anywhere beyond mid-card status, so that's about right for the Pitbull. Move on now to Rayo del Sol. He's 27 years of age, he's on the rise, his aerial is remarkable, he's actually a star in that department. He's another gentleman that you'd be looking to get into the main event scene going forward. He's already at mid-carder, so it's something that could be done. And the mask design when I originally did it, which was years ago, I quite liked. I'm not as thrilled about it at the moment. It's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not great either, let's be honest. But I do like the guy, and I think I'll be pushing him. Referee Enuncio Palomo. Referee Mauricio Rosales. Reyes Nunez. He's the colour commentator for the company. That's about all we really have to say on this gentleman. And Satanas. Now Satanas is an absolute monster. Not in terms of size, he's only middleweight, but he's a main event Rudo, and he's very much going to be a legend, I think, when he comes to retire. His aerial and flashiness is very good, and his technical abilities are pretty damn good as well. He's the classic feud with Senor Mexico, who we'll be seeing next. 94% prestige with this mask. It's very demonic, and I think it's pretty fantastic, I have to say. It's one of my earlier designs as well. He's, yeah, very much a Mexican legend. I think because of the likes of Satanas and Senor Mexico and Azul back in the day, and even Angel. I think Angel was one of the future, or the first stars of Leyendas de Lucha Libre de Liga. Said it again for you. Trying to put on the accent, but not go overkill, as if I've been to that country and on my gap year, and none of that. Because of the likes of these individuals, Quadruple L have got such a solid foundation. I think they have $10 million in the bank as well, and they've got pay-per-view and television, and they usually pull out some of the better grades in the entire database. And here is Senor Mexico. Now, Senor Mexico is a patriot gimmick, A-star, just fantastic. He's getting old, he's 44 years of age, but I don't care. He can be a main eventer until he dies, because he's Senor Mexico. How can you hate that? You can't. You can't. Again, very much in the same boat as Satanas. He's a legend in the world of Lucha Libre. And yeah, his mask is 100% prestige, so yeah, there's not really too much to say about Senor Mexico. He's a legend. He is what he is. I like this render. Sergio Castellano, a punk gimmick, and I think so that makes two punks in this with Elias Valdez, although I definitely prefer Sergio Castellano. His abilities are slightly better. He is 34 years of age. Middleweight, mid-carder. Mid-card is probably where I'd see him being in the short-term future. Maybe pushing him up to upper mid-carder, but that seems about right for what I'd be booking him immediately anyway. Severiano Santana. Now this is the son of Hugo Santana, who we saw earlier. 26 years of age. Aerial is already very good. His mat wrestling isn't great, but his chain wrestling is pretty good. And again, there's potential there with the likes of Inferno to develop them into future main eventers. Now, Severiano Santana, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to make it because I don't know. There's something that just doesn't scream out to me star, and I think I would have to see him improve in certain areas dramatically to be able to get him on a level where I'd be comfortable putting him as even a mid-carder at the moment. But it's not something I'd rule out. It's not out of the question entirely. It could be done. Move on now to Toxico. Now Toxico is an enhancement talent Rudo, classic Rudo. His aerial abilities are very good. His other in-ring abilities aren't great. Possibly someone that I'd even think about maybe letting go at some point. To be honest with you, I don't see much for him in the future. Not in this company anyway. Maybe in another Mexican promotion, but not here. But he is one third of the Trios Campeón de la Liga. So at least he's got a title. Graduated the Quadruple L Lucha Factory, although I'm sure they're not bragging about it. And the final gentleman on the roster, here we have Valentin. Now Valentin is the other half of the tag team with Anastasio, the Gods of Love. Well, that's not the name of the tag team, but that would be great. He's the hero spawned from the Gods of Love. Oh, sorry, I caught myself reading the bio as I was talking about him there. I believe the tag team is actually known as Hugs and Kisses, and he is one half of the Parejas Campeón de la Liga. Comedy luchador. I do very much like the tag team, they're pretty good. And his abilities are actually very good as well. He is 32 years of age, so he's not over the hill yet. And I think you could have some fun matches with the tag team division that we have in this company, and we'll go on to see them momentarily. So that gives you an overview of the roster. It's a fairly sizable roster, but they are a national-sized company. A lot of diverse and interesting characters, I think you'll have to agree. Let me know actually in the comments below who your favourites are from what you see in this company. And we'll do this in the videos going forward for this series. Let me know some of the characters that stick out to you so I can kind of get a sense of who people like and maybe even who people don't like. So we'll have a look now at, I think there are actually storylines set up. There are. There's El Ángel Blanco against El Padrino, Hielo Ray versus Azul Jr., Hugs and Kisses versus Punk Mentality, and Senor Mexico versus Satanas. So we have some very good storylines there. Have a look at the titles. These are fantastic title reigns as well. I know I say that every time, but these ones are top notch. Again, the titles have been created by Mr. MJ Stark. Thank you very much, sir. Here we see the Mexico Campeón de la Liga as held by El Ángel Blanco. The Mundo Campeón de la Liga as held by Hielo Ray. The Parejas Campeón de la Liga as held by Hugs and Kisses, or Anastasio and Valentin. And the Trios Campeón de la Liga is Satanas, El Mono and Toxico. So we have, for the first time in a company, that we've come across a Trios title. So yeah, to be fair though, with the luchadors that I'm putting in the free agency market, you'll have no problem whatsoever filling up your roster with spectacular workers. In fact, there's a gentleman that if he isn't appearing in the creative meeting as Hidden Gems, in fact, I'm not even going to say his name. I'll let you guys, when the data is released, find him yourself. There's someone already in the data that I've put in as a free agent. He's someone I'll be bringing in immediately. He's that good. So let us have a look at the tag teams. We have Fear of the Unknown, Anon and Feroza Dragon. What the frick pronunciation was that? Apologies. Hugs and Kisses, Anastasio and Valentin. Jungle Pride, Leon de Oro and Lord Jaguar. Latin American Union, Axel, Thrush and El Padrino. Newfound Heroes of Inferno and Severiano Santana. And Punk Mentality, which is Elias Valdez and Sergio Castellano. Now stables, I think there are a few. We have Confused Erotic Ambiguity, great name, Anastasio, Enigma and Valentin. We have Fear of the Unknown, which is Anon, Feroz Dragon and Hueso Dragon. We have Guardian Militant Crusaders, which is El Angel Blanco, El Militante and Rayo de Sol. Hellfire and Vengeance, which is the current Trios champions. El Mono, Satanas and Toxico. Lords of the Six-Sided Jungle, because quadruple L, little known fact, six-sided ring. There you go. Diego Araulo, Leon de Oro and Lord Jaguar. And Punk Nation, Elias Valdez, Erasmo Amador and Sergio Castellano. I noticed that I'm really drifting into the accent here. I apologise. Hopefully I'm not doing it too much of a disservice. Anyone who's Spanish speaking that's watching this video, no offence is intended, but I do like to try and give a bit of effort into it. Have a look now at the creative meeting. Senor Mexico, Hielo Rey, Azul Jr., Satanas and Leon de Oro, franchise players. Next big things, there are none. That's a bit disappointing actually. Hot prospects, we've got a lot, which is great. We've got Hueso Dragon, Severiano Santana, El Estadio Tipo, Rayo de Sol and Diego Araulo. Talk the talk, we have Senor Mexico, Hielo Rey, Azul Jr., El Angel Blanco and Anon. Showstoppers, we've got Hielo Rey, Satanas, Leon de Oro, El Angel Blanco and Anon. Ring Generals, Hielo Rey, Satanas, Senor Mexico, Leon de Oro and Javier Sis. Who's not? Who's hot? Thank Christ. I was really worried about this list. Satanas, Azul Jr., Hielo Rey, Anon and Arachnido Negro. Who's not? Hierro Collado and El Estadio Tipo. I'm okay with Hierro Collado being on there. Time decline, Senor Mexico. So Satanas at 41 years of age is not on time decline yet. That's great. Hidden Gems. Let's see who we have. I'm interested to see. Okay. Royal Blue. That's not the gentleman that I wanted to appear on this list. However, the gentleman just beneath him is one of the newer masks designs put into the game. In fact, even people that have worked on this data won't have seen almost all of these masks. These have just been done by, obviously Standard did a lot of the designs, I did a little bit of refining on a couple of little bits and pieces and put it all together. We have Abstraction. How did I just... I said it with a lisp. Abstraction? Abstraction? Well, Abstraction. Fantastic. He's the person that I bring into this company, and pretty much as any Mexican company, he is one of the ones I bring in. Again, a lot of them still need to be added, but he is one of the earlier ones that I've added in so far. Bobo the Hardcore Clown, absolutely frickin' not. Pantera Morado, no. And Tony Johns, you've got to be shitting me, son. So the first two, yes. The other three, no. No. And that brings us nicely to booking our television show. Prestige B plus and Momentum A. Fantastic. Cassius Orion. I think he's in CWE as Lords of Wrestling. Yes, he is. Another company yet to be covered. And we're getting quite far through this series. This is episode 18 now. There are 33 starting companies, as I've already said to you guys, but CPWE is the developmental territory of the AWF, so I won't actually be able to cover them. However, I do plan on doing an episode where I at least go over their roster for you guys. So, Auto Booked Venue, Parque Miguel Miscosa. There you go. Okay, so we've got 2 hours of TV to book. La Experiencia de Lucha de Quadruple L. And let's get stuck in. 83% backstage rating, that's pretty good. So, let's put away some pay-per-view matches on this show as it's just a one-off. I want to put Senor Mexico against Satanas right away. Right away. And you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'll let the computer decide who's... This isn't going to be the main event either. And again, if I was doing a diary, I wouldn't obviously be throwing stupid pay-per-view matches away on TV unless it served a purpose. But for you guys, I'll just put this this match on now. And this is the match, like I said, I will let the computer decide entirely. So there we go. We start off with a bang. I will have a tag team. In fact, it's a Mexican company. So I'm going to have a 3 versus 3. Do we have, as far as match types? No, okay, we'll just do 3 versus 3. That's fine. We'll get some of the real big hitters in the main event. So one side will have Anon, Arachnido Negro, and Hielo Rey. So that's a hell of a trio right there. And on the face side, Leon de Oro, Azul Jr., and we'll need a upper mid carder. Tempted to have El Angel Blanco in there, to be honest, but yeah, I'll give a non-mask worker a bit of love here, and I'll put Javier Sis. This is going to be the main event, so I'll let this go a nice portion of time. I don't want to interfere too much into the nuances on this. Again, for diary purposes, I would be, but who do I want to win? I really don't know. It's very difficult to say with that. I might give Azul Jr. the win because he'll be going up against Azul Ray, Yellow Ray at some point in the future. Maybe a non. Actually, no. Arachnido Negro would be the one I'd get to take the fall there. But it'd be an open match. Be a hell of a match, actually. This. Everyone's happy. Fantastic. Okay, so we'll get a singles match on here. Still got a lot of people to work with, which is good. Get Alangel Blanco on the card and have him go up against who do we want? Maybe Kid Flash? That'll do. Alangel Blanco will be getting the win there. We'll get some Hill's getting some the win as well somewhere. No, not here. Not here. Definitely not here. So Kid Flash is going to take the loss. Will be open though. Yep, that's fine. I don't want to put the title on the line. I'm going to have, even though I very much like them as a tag team, I have Hugs and Kisses take a loss here in a non-title affair. So Hugs and Kisses. Good bit of momentum there for Valentin. And guess Latin American Union will take the win. So this is going to be about 11 minutes. Don't need to go overkill with it. We've got Axel Thrush will take the win, and as much as it pains me to say, Anastasio will take the loss. It will be an open match though. So save, that's fine. We'll have that go on there. Right, what else do we want? We'll have another singles match. I'll put another trios match on as well. Probably need some in fact we definitely need some angles on this. We will have El Tipo losing to Leoncio Santos. It'll be a relatively quick match. Victor's going to be Leoncio Santos. The loser, obviously El Tipo. Okay. So we need 32 more minutes. We need some angles as well. So I have another trios match on here. Oh. Tell you what. Yep, I don't want to do that. I want to still add a match. But I saw what I wanted there. This is what I wanted. Lucha Libre 3 versus 3. I think... I'm just going to throw some random people together. So, the heel side will have Forrest Dragon, and it will also have Sergio Castellano and Elias Valdez. The face side will have Rayo de Sol, Lord Jaguar, and Diego Rallo. So again, that won't go very long. about 9 minutes. And we'll have Feroz Dragon take the win. No, when I click on it correctly, Feroz Dragon will take the win. And the loser will be Diego Araujo, just because he's an opener. Might have that open the show. One more match and I'll put some angles on then. We'll just have another singles match. I know it's going to be some fantastic promos, I'm sure. We'll have Enigma go up against El Mono. And I'll actually let the computer decide this one as well. So go 10 minutes. So save. Right. I might actually have to cut a little bit of time out of the matches as well. And I'll have that one open to show in fact. But we'll do a talk, a promo, where Senor Mexico talks about his lifelong feud, what it seems like, with Satanas. And we're going to let him really go on here for about 6 minutes. And we'll have that out there. We'll have another angle where we'll have Satanas called the first shot and talk about how he's always been better than Senor Mexico. And tonight he's going to prove it. So, singles. Now both of these guys, from what I recall, can cut very good promos. Okay. We'll have Satanas cut the opening promo of the show. Now that's a fairly hot-shotted show basically that I've just put together. As we know, I don't think about what I'm doing, I just kind of go with what I feel like at the time. So we'll save that, and we'll get ready to run this show into the ground. Yes, let's go. Fantastic. So Satanas cuts a promo hyping up his upcoming match with Senor Mexico, that gets a B+, and this event takes place in front of 12,042 people at Parque Miguel Moscoso, and it's on TV Mex. Opening match, the bout that featured great action and a good crowd. El Mono defeated Enigma in 10 minutes 22 by pinfall with a primate plunge. C+, not bad. Okay, and the six-man tag, forgot what I was going to say there. The match had some good action, but not much in the way of heat. Feroz Dragon and Punk Mentality defeated Rayo de Sol, Lord Jaguar and Diego Araujo in 9 minutes 30 by 2 straight falls, with the final fall happening when Feroz Dragon defeated Diego Araujo by submission with a satellite armbar. This was a much better match than I thought it was going to be actually. Bodes well for El Estereotipo's future. The bout that featured great action and a good crowd, Leoncio Santos defeated El Estereotipo in 7 minutes 43 seconds by pinfall with an obsessive impulse. Ah, the first A. In all of these videos that I've done, this has been the very first A. And I started off by booking the AWF, but here in Quadruple L we find the very first A. And well and truly deserved by Senor Mexico. He cuts a promo hyping up his upcoming match with Satanas. Anything that came after that was going to suck anyway, but my idea was to bring the crowd down again. In a bout that featured great action and average heat, Latin American Union defeated Hugs and Kisses in 10 minutes 50 when Axel Thrush defeated Anastasio by pinfall with an Axel Throttle. This match did better than I thought. In a bout that featured great action and a good crowd, El Angel Blanco defeated Kid Flash in 11 minutes 59 by pinfall with a Gabriel's Message. And it's a B. Yeah! Yeah! In a superb bout that had great wrestling and a sizzling crowd, Senor Mexico defeated Satanas in 16 minutes 3 seconds by pinfall with a Latin splash. And that gets an A. Do you feel me? Do you feel me? Because I feel me, but that doesn't sound right. But you know what I mean. That's an A. That's an in-ring match A. Yeah? That was great. The main event's going to suck. Oh, it didn't suck as bad as I thought it would. Well, I didn't think it was going to suck, but following that's always going to be difficult. So in a bout that featured great action and great heat from the audience, Leon de Oro, Azul Jr. and Javier Sis defeated Anon, Aracnido Negro and Hielo Rey in 24 minutes and 57 seconds, when Azul Jr. defeated Aracnido Negro by pinfall with an Azul freeze. And that gets a B+. Now this show should have absolutely kicked ass. B+, there are no specific comments to be made about this show. That's probably the best show that I've booked on this series, I think. And what a way to culminate episode 18. We've gone through a very expansive and diverse roster. We've had a look at the backstage stuff, the titles, the teams. We put a show together for their television program. And yeah, that really does cover everything about this promotion. If you have liked this video, guys, please do hit that like button and subscribe. We're at currently 40 subscribers, I believe, so we're really edging close to 50 for a special video. For the next promotion, I'll let you guys again comment in the box below. Let me know what company you want me to cover next for these videos. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys, and until next time, thank you for stopping by.